Sammy Baugh, though 36 years old and with 15 seasons of full competition behind him, gives no signs of nearing the end of his amazing career.
Art Monk is now number one, the most prolific pass receiver in the National Football League's history. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
This is Harry Hog Football, the original Redskins Fans podcast. On today's show, we talk about the game between the Washington Redskins and the Arizona Cardinals. A victory for the new era starting in Washington. This is Much More Live with Aaron and John. Yo, 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 yo. What's up, John?
Yo, 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 what's up?
Excellent.
Welcome, everybody. Harry Hog Football, episode number 583. 500 and I can only think
Ricky
of one
Sanders.
person. Yeah.
Where's Ricky Sanders?
Where's Ricky Sanders? Where's Ricky Sanders? Yeah, so, what a game it was. I know we were hoping for a more, how do I say this? Convincing victory over the Cardinals, who people are saying we're tanking for the season already, but I'll take a win any way I can get it.
100%. And by the way, for all you guys who thought we were going to blow them out, even though they are tanking, well, even though the ownership are tanking, the players are not. And those guys are going to be fighting like hell every week not to lose a game.
Oh, yeah.
And we sure tried to lose that game for them.
Well, our offense did. Oh, my gosh. They were anemic, to say the most. To say the least.
Least.
What did you think about, what was your first impressions of the Eric Bieniemy offense there?
Saw a little like gadgets kind of plays stuck in there a little bit of those misdirection kind of stuff. There was one handoff that he did where the guy like took one step and turned around and went the other way, and it looked a little weird, looked a little bit like what they did in Kansas City with some stuff. But I think a lot of it's still quite vanilla compared to what we're going to be able to see going forward.
Yeah, I agree. There was that one like U-turn run that I was like, what in the world? I've never seen that before. To me, I didn't think I'd ever find myself saying this, but there was at one point in the game, probably around the third quarter, I was like, we need to run it some more.
Yeah. Although, I mean, how many drops did we have in this game?
At least three.
How many drops did Thomas?
3. He had at least 3.
3.
Thomas, I'm going to pull up his stats here. Does this still work?
What was I going to say? Oh yeah. The tight ends they didn't have a good game. Thomas, three drops, including 2 on one drive. John Bates got called for holding twice, although the second time it was not holding. It's about half of those calls were like super ticky-tack fouls. Dude, on both sides.
How many times does Master get called for a pick? Like every year? It seems like he got like at least 2 or 3 last year, and he's already got 1 this year for that.
But that wasn't really a pick.
I know, but he gets called for it all the time.
So something he's doing is making them at least think he's picking somebody.
Yeah, it's something that he's doing that gets called more than anyone else I've ever seen. I was just trying to pull up to see if I could figure out how many times Thomas officially dropped the ball. Literally.
3 times. 3 times.
3 times.
I remember.
He was targeted 8. He caught it 4. So, yeah, 3 times, and 1 must not have been catchable, I'm guessing. But anyway.
I know Cole Turner had 1 catch, and that was, maybe he had more, but I don't think he did. I think he only had 1.
Yeah, it's 1.
Yeah.
It's right here. For 17. Yeah, but I mean, these dudes are rusty. Think about it. I mean, we're lucky to have the Cardinals as our first preseason game because...
No lie.
I mean, first regular season game because it's like a preseason for all the starters. They didn't play any. They're rusty.
Right. So going back to preseason, which only has 3 games now, not 4. We had a debate about how much playing time should the offense have, because I mean, Sam Howell just had his second start ever in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, do you want him out there? Do you want the offensive line out there more so they can start, continue to gel with each other? I don't know. It wasn't just us. Other teams were having the same problems as well. So,
yeah,
the Giants lost 40-0. There's no way the Giants are that bad or that the Cowboys are that good.
No.
It's just the first game of the year.
Yeah, the Giants, fumbling and miscues, kind of like what we were doing in the first half, like
Especially
shooting
the
themselves.
first half.
Oh my gosh. But there was one point in this game where the defensive line was just like, yeah, we're not losing this. We're going to win it if the offense is going to help us or not.
It was about halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah. And Sweat just started like kicking some behind and taking names.
The whole defensive line just started kicking behind. And, a couple guys got a little caught out early in the game, but like Forbes had that big tackle there near the end. Cameron Curl had a couple of really big plays in this game. Montez Sweat, obviously. Jonathan Allen, who tackled. We had 2 dudes doing like Chris Hamburger, like hangman tackles. And John Allen was doing it backwards.
He backhanded the quarterback down with one arm.
It's like he turned his arm over there and he saw that it was like the quarterback. And he was like, "Oh, give me that guy."
Yeah, he backhanded him. He backhanded the quarterback.
He backhanded him. I heard him this morning on the Junkies. He's doing the Junkies, or yesterday morning. I'm sorry. I think it's every Monday at 9:00 a.m. that he's doing that. And he talked about that. He was like, I didn't even know he was there for a second, for like half a second. He didn't even know the quarterback was there. And he was just like, oh, there he is. Like, oh.
I recommend that you tackle him.
I recommend that we tackle this guy.
I know. Yeah, they just took over, and then that hit by Sweat that caused the fumble where or maybe he didn't cause the fumble. I'm trying to remember. I think he did, but I just remember him going more like knocking the quarterback out of the way so that he wouldn't have a chance to get the ball.
So because it looked like one of our guys were going to get to it, and that little bit was probably. Well, I don't know when that happened, because you and I, Aaron and I, are on the phone usually during the game, like talking about what's going on. And when that happened, I was just like, somebody's getting something squeezed under that pile, because there's no way our defense is not coming out of that pile without the ball.
Yeah.
Something somewhere got squeezed, and because the last time you saw the ball, it was behind the quarterback's back, and he was like reaching back to grab it, and then the pile just crumbled around him.
The pile closed in around him.
And we had Stink as one of the announcers, Mark Slareth, former Redskin, former champion Redskin, and champion Broncos, who are playing this weekend. And he didn't say he pretty much said the same thing I just said. It's like some of those guys have been in piles. They know what's going on, or something like that.
Things were getting squeezed. But yeah, those guys. I mean, because the offense, dude. Let's talk.
First half, it was. Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about that a little bit here.
So we had a 10-point swing. It's not like the Cardinals were good or anything. The first half, we had 7 points possibly that we gave up when we were way inside the red zone, and your dog, number 24, decided he wasn't going to hold on to the ball.
Dude, Antonio Gibson, caught! Dude, he is now the J.D. McKissick of this team. He's going to come in on 3rd downs, and you might throw the ball to him, you might pass the ball to him, And he's probably going to be like, he's already a little bit surly as it is because he doesn't feel like he's showing what he has. But, dude, you get on the field and you fumble. Yeah. I know last year he had one fumble because you and I discussed this as well. Like he was really bad about fumbles 2 years ago. Last year, he only had one fumble.
Yeah, I heard on Galdi today, he said 2 years ago he had 6 fumbles, which led the NFL, or led the NFL? Is that the right way to say it? I don't know.
Led the NFL in sucking. And dude.
And sucking.
You I mean, I know. All right, look, the weather was not good. It was raining at that point when he lost the ball. And later on in the game, like even in HD, you could see the rain coming down.
Though. He had
Dick's gloves on. He's got to catch the ball. I mean, they started putting Robinson in like on the first drive. I think he did a 3rd down run.
You mean Rodriguez?
Robinson, right? Of course. Robinson was in there, caught that little sidearm pass from Sam Howell, all like
Mahomes.
I was like, who is that quarterback? The guy that's always, he's always on the Jake from State Farm commercials.
Like we're playing Mad Libs here all of a sudden.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know that pass was pretty, dude. Where he found that little window and threw it back in for the touchdown. I was digging that. You know what I was not digging though? To me, and you may disagree with me on this, and maybe some of the listeners disagree, but didn't it seem to you at times that Sam Howell was holding on to the ball an awful long time?
I listened to some of Brian Mitchell's post-game stuff on YouTube. I think the industry, I think that's their standard station for that, for post-game now. And he said pretty much the same things that you just said. Like he's holding on to the ball for too long. The weather is probably a factor, probably causes slipperiness. And Wiley needs to. That was not a good show, dude.
Wiley, dude, I foreshadowed this in our preseason podcast because remember Wiley, there was some stat where he was like in the bottom 10 out of like 90 tackles for allowing sacks last year. And
he didn't allow 1 sack in the Super Bowl, the most important game of all.
Okay, but he allowed a bunch of other times. So that didn't help matters. And his 2 holding penalties or what have you didn't help either in this game.
Yeah.
So, he needs to shape up.
He does. I keep laughing because we haven't talked about the late and dirty hits from the Cardinals early on from that white dude that used to be on the Eagles, number 7.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. But first, I want to go back to before you get off of the Sam Howell thing.
Oh.
I wanted to also point out, you were pointing out the weather. That one interception that he threw looked like it came out of there like all Heineke style. Like it was like a lame, like it slipped out of his hand. There's no way he threw it that bad.
Oh.
Yeah, because most of his throws are darts, like, tight, sharp spirals, and this thing was
Ryan
like a Heineke
special.
This is like a Wentz special coming out, or a Blaine Gabbert special coming out of there. Pick any of the 19 former quarterbacks in the last few years. Josh Johnson special coming out of there.
Gilbert Great Gabbert.
Gilbert Great. Is his name Gilbert Gabbert? Great.
I
thought it was
Gabbert.
Blaine. Wwho's Blaine Gabbert?
Blaine. No, yes, Blaine Gabbert. Yeah, that's right. And then we had like Gilbert Great. We were like, who is this guy?
His name's not Gilbert. It's Blaine.
No, there's another dude.
There's another guy?
Name is Gilbert.
Gilbert Gabbert? Gilbert Godfrey, dude. That's an actor with that annoying voice. He was on USA Up All Night with Elvira.
He's a dead man now. Gilbert Godfrey died a few months ago, but he talked like that a lot. No, dude, his name is Garrett Gilbert. He wore number 19 for the Washington football team, I think.
Dude, I got him confused. I thought him and Blaine Gabbert were the same dude.
I thought Bada and Obata are the same dude.
They are, dude. Blaine,
So
Gilbert,
you
Gabbert are two dudes. I
started
learned
a
something.
game for us.
Well, they might as well be the same dude. They both are sucky quarterbacks that used to play for us.
Dude,
Anyway.
in 2008, he was the Built Ford Tough Class 4A Texas High School Player of the Year. Built Ford Tough.
I'd like
He
to
was
give
at
it.
Texas, then he went to SMU, and he was with, amongst other teams, the Orlando Apollos. I'll
We
just
talking
name
about
the NFL
Gilbert
team.
or Blaine?
Rams. Dude, I'm good. I'm talking about Gilbert Grape. Gilbert Godfrey Grape. This guy.
No one
Garrett
wants
Gilbert.
to hear. No one wants to hear about him, dude.
You don't want to hear? I feel like I'm going to do like the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister. Like I'm going to be ready to like go through the whole like 50 states.
I don't
It's
want
like
to
the Rams,
talk
the
about.
Patriots, the Lions, Raiders, the Panthers, the Apollos, Browns, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Washington football team, the Raiders, the New England Patriots for the third stint.
Anyway, while you're looking at Blaine
someone
Garrett's,
hold on, because someone that posted in our chat room, which is on Discord at tinyurl.com/HarryHF, someone posted a picture of all his jerseys on there, and he had like 30-something jerseys on there, and one was a Gilbert jersey, and I was like,
what?
how did he have a Gilbert jersey? Who had a Gilbert? I mean,
Please tell me it was a.
I think he was just going with the starting quarterbacks.
I hope he got it at DH Gate and not from Dan Snyder.
Yeah, really. Name that doesn't need to be. What do they say?
Hey,
They
there's
whatever.
I don't know. There's some dudes in the YouTube chat I'd like to give a shout out to. We've got DC Skins in there. 3Pete. No, he's in Discord. Chin in Nova Scotia.
Hey.
Johnny Cassidy. Prod.Fago.
He who should not be named. There it is, from Shannon, Nova Scotia. And don't forget, if you're in the YouTube chat, you put in what? Emoticons, emotes that they move around.
Little smiley face things.
Those smiley faces are like French toast. And
Emoji.
Emoji.
That's what it is.
Emoji.
Is it emoji or emoji?
Emoji. Emoji, like gift of the magi, gift of the emoji, gift of the emoji.
Emoji. Anyway.
Oh, speaking of Chen, we did see David Mayo in there at one point.
I didn't see him the whole game. And if he was in there, it wasn't anything that he did that was egregious that would make Chen upset.
I thought I saw him on special teams.
Oh, he was on special teams? Did he play linebacker at all in our 5-1-5 defense?
Man, I don't think so. But we had Jamin Davis, who actually had a couple of good plays, and Cody Barton and they were in for like the whole game, pretty much like a having a 2-man middle.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Barton, I mean, he ended up with like 4 total tackles on the game, but he didn't have. I mean,
I don't remember him being much of a impactful player. I don't see anything about David Mayo in the stat line, so he didn't have any tackles or anything.
It says on ESPN, on ESPNthemagazine.com, he has 1 tackle. David Mayo got 1 tackle in this game. Same with Roy Ridgway, Christian Holmes. De'Ami Brown tackled somebody. Jerry McLaurin tackled somebody. Oh, yeah, you know why those guys are on there for tackling somebody, because let's go into that.
Okay.
More.
Let's go into that.
Let's go into that a little bit more. So,
go for it. Go into it.
Well, we've already been into it some, but we've got the interception they were talking about that looked like a lame duck, looked like a Heineke throw.
Or Blaine Gilbert.
Blaine Gilbert, great Godfrey.
From USA Up All Night.
USA!
With Elvira.
With Elvira.
He used to co-host with Elvira.
You want to talk about an old school person that was on so many B movie type stuff.
Elvira.
Oh my goodness. Elvira. Elvira.
And Gilbert Gottfried.
Elvira.
Three Pete's like, talk about the game. Stop talking about Gilbert Gottfried.
See, that's what happens on Harry Hog Football sometimes. We start talking about other stuff. All right. So anyways, we talked about the 3 turnovers, almost 4 turnovers in the game, and yet we still won the game.
Yeah,
Even with Wiley giving up sack / fumble, strip fumble.
Six sacks they gave up.
6 sacks total, plus they lost 6 points on that strip sack. So
DC Skins is saying it looks like the pass was tipped. It looked like it was tipped to me, but I think it just slipped out of his hand. But
it looked like it was tipped to me too. But on the replay, I didn't see anyone like come near it.
No, I'd have to look again on all 22. I'm sure, like right now, Chen in Nova Scotia is like, scouring the internet to get us a definitive view of the play. Know who else gave up a sack? Logan Thomas. Seriously? He might have to get my kick, but he was getting better as the game went on, I have to say.
Yeah, and remember he came back at the end of last year, but he was, that was the first few games after ACL surgery. So hopefully he's going to get better.
Yeah. Johnny Cassidy's pointing out that Howell did throw one and hit the defensive guy right in the back of the head. I remember that.
Yeah.
The guy looked around like, who's hitting me?
Who threw that ham at me?
That was pretty funny. But that fumble pickup into the end zone, I think I was like a minute behind most of you guys in the Discord room, and it was just like, something bad just happened. And then I saw it live, like, it didn't really take the sting out, but it did a little bit. It eased the pain slightly.
At least you knew.
At least I knew something bad was coming. Yeah, that was not good. But on the other hand, how many times have you seen us give up 3 turnovers in one half? One half of football?
One half.
And come back and win? Never.
Yeah.
Our defense gave up 0 touchdowns. 0. They gave up like... How many drives did the Cardinals have that actually ended in points? I mean, when they didn't have a short field. I don't know off the top of my head.
Four drives. They had 4 drives that they scored. 3 of them were field goals.
But what I'm saying is, those were after... How many did they have? They had the first one, right? But how many after that did they actually go down the field without us like fumbling or giving them a short field on a pick that they scored? Not many. The defense. Let me look at the defensive stats, dude. This isn't my normal website that I normally get the stats of. Sorry, having some issue here. Talk amongst yourself.
Well, they kicked 3 field goals in the game, and the touchdown again was from their defense getting the 2-yard fumble return. But it was all for naught. It was coming back with Sam Howell and then Joey Sly there when we suddenly got like super conservative and Bieniemy decided to rely on his defense, or maybe Ron Rivera did. I'm not really sure. Aaron, both of us were saying the same thing, and a lot of people were saying we're not really sure what Ron Rivera is doing because he's not calling the offensive plays, he's not calling the defensive plays, and his use of timeouts is still atrocious. So what is he doing?
Let's talk about that timeout that he called.
He's a dead man walking, man. He's not gonna, unless he wins like 14 games, he's not gonna come back.
Refresh my memory. The Cardinals it was 3rd down. They got stopped, but had a penalty. The clock was stopped because of the penalty, and it was going to be like 4th and 4, 4th and 5. But instead of having them punt, he accepted the penalty, gave them another play, which means we had to use a timeout after that play, which could have come in handy down at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The Cardinals were going to punt on 4th and 4, unless they were idiots.
Yeah,
they were still on their side of the field.
Yeah, they were in their side of the field. And we had already seen, like we know you're not going to try to, with that kind of crappy offensive line they had, they're not going to like push our defense around. Our defensive line was just stout by the end of the game. They were just like, no way, nothing's getting through.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. I agreed. I said the same thing. It's like he once again, Ron Rivera cost us time out.
Yep. So here I'm looking at the
box. but on that timeout though that they took away a timeout when we challenged the play, and this is where the referees kept getting like, you know, I guess it's their first game of the year too, so they're gonna have some problems. That they what was it?
The Gibson first down, where it was an obvious first down, and they said that it wasn't.
Yeah. It was obvious first down. You can see exactly where his arm with the ball in it was hitting the ground. It was right at the first down marker. And they were like, we can't move it up the extra yard that we took away from you because we can't tell where he was. And everyone's just like, look at the camera. It's right there.
Yeah,
so,
I was like, you know, had to go pee during that commercial. And I was expecting to come back and be like, all right, first down. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What in the heck? And let's talk about, because you started too earlier and I cut you off. What about these dudes like that white guy and everyone else that was like going for Sam Howell's head in this game? And then I sent this morning in Discord, I found on Twitter a link of the after the hit, some dude like put Sam Howell's head in like a leg scissor lock and like slammed him back down to the ground. What was that?
Yeah, I didn't remember that from the replay at all. Because Stink would have like blown his top when he saw that.
Yeah, someone saw it like on the very corner of the screen as the camera was moving, and they posted it on Twitter. And I'm like, what in the heck? There has to be penalties, dude. They were going for his head.
He's gonna get fined tomorrow.
Yeah, they were playing dirty, man. Dirty.
Yeah. Typical Eagle crap.
Now Cardinal crap.
White.
Anyway, I was just looking to go with my point, or what point I was trying to make. So the first time they scored was on a drive, right? Yes, 8 plays, 64. The second time they scored was 4 plays, 1 yard. So obviously after, I don't remember what it was after, probably a fumble or an interception. And then
it was right at midfield. I remember that because that's when the defense like stood up and they only gave up 1 yard on that play or on that drive. So that was when they started to step up a little bit.
The next time they scored was 4 plays and why does it say negative 10 yards? Oh, because Hal got sacked. So the next time they scored wasn't on a drive at all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the only time they scored that touchdown was when their defense was out.
Yep. The next time they did score on a 56-yard drive. So that's 2 times. 2 of their scores were on a drive. And that's it. So 2 of their scores were after a drive. A 56-yard, 11-play drive. And then to start the game, they had a 8-play, 64-yard drive. So all the other points, you know, were off crap from our offense. So our defense was as expected. For the most part.
Oh yeah. All in all, they had a couple gadget plays at the beginning, but that was really kind of reminding me of Super Bowl 22 when the Broncos were like, you know, throwing the ball to John Elway and stuff, and you're like, man, these gadget plays, they're crap, you know, getting some scores on us, and then we were like, all right, time to play real football after that awesome Art Monk 4th and 24.
Yeah, you even called that yesterday. You're like, all right, I think we've seen about all their gadget plays. Like they ran the reverse. And that got them like 20 or so yards, and then like in the beginning, Kelsey, I was like, not Kelsey. What's his
Kelsey? Says Ertz.
Ertz. I was like,
Ertz 9 months removed from an ACL surgery. 9 months removed, and what were his stats in this game? I can't believe he played in this game.
6 catches for 21 yards. It seemed like it was going to be a lot more than that in the beginning. I was like, uh-oh, here we go again. But we shut him down. We
really did. I'm sure. I haven't, I don't follow the Arizona at all, but I wonder if he was. I wonder if he was sore the next day. That's for sure.
Probably.
I was being facetious. I'm sure he was like really, really sore. Like he might be so sore he might not be able to play this weekend.
But anyway, I was
9 months, dude. 9 months for like a dude that's 6'5", 260 pounds or more. 9 months to come back from a knee surgery. That's insane. That's insane. I can't believe that he's back. That's nuts.
Good for him. Good for him.
If it's true, but people could keep coming back from that stuff like way too early, like RG3, for instance.
Speaking of, let's talk about the former Redskins that were in the stands for this game.
Star-studded event at FedEx Field.
How about our dog, number 44, John Riggins, and the camera's on him, and he stands up and opens his blazer, and there's this giant Redskins symbol. It like sewed into his jack.
That's so. The only person that would, like, other people could have gotten away with that and it would be cool, but John Riggins was the perfect person to just be like, check this out.
And he was hanging out up there with, like, I think I saw Mitchell Rails with a John Riggins jersey on, if I'm not mistaken.
It might have been, and you had like Sonny up there, and Billy were there. So many people were there before that. We know all the people. Hold on. We love all the, we started like London Fletcher was on there with RG3 and pregame and Smoot and
Champ Bailey.
We had Champ Bailey and Clinton Portis hanging out together, which was funny because they never played together because they got traded for each other.
And like, Portis was like,
we ever had, and Portis was awesome.
Dude, Portis was like, and I can't believe it that I got traded for you and a pick.
And a pick for a first-round Hall of Famer, and we gave him a second round as well. Like one of the worst trades we could ever do.
It's just another reason why we can't stand Dan Snyder.
Good old Dan Snyder. Ah!
And I thought Portis was in jail, but apparently not, dude.
I think he only had to go for like 3 months, and if he was probably, I'd imagine, like maybe he was in there for a month, and then he got like,
house arrest.
Probably house arrest with an ankle monitor.
Something about insurance fraud, right?
Yeah, that Robert McCune guy who we drafted, I think in the 5th round a number of years ago.
I remember that dude.
Was the big guy that was doing it. And basically they were getting like hyperbaric chambers and stuff like delivered to their house. But they never got them. But they got the money to pay for them. Hyperbaric chamber in someone's house. Did you not think people were not going to find that? Or you're going to come over and be like, so where'd you spend $330,000 from the NFL's money?
Anyway,
so yeah,
Sam and Champ. Yeah. I didn't see Joe Gibbs there though. Was there a race or something? I expected him to be there. I didn't see him.
I thought I saw him. I thought I saw his head.
His head.
I thought I saw like a silhouette of his head. His head is kind of weird looking nowadays. The hair.
His head is some weird looking. Don't talk about my hero Joe Gibbs like that, sir. His head is perfect. Joe Gibbs' head is perfect.
His head is perfect.
His head and what's inside of it helped win 3 Super Bowls for us, my friend.
He's in the Hall of Fame of 2 different sports.
Yeah. So don't mess with him and his head. Oh yeah, Charles Mann was there. I heard him in the pregame, and he was talking about how when he tried to come to a game, when Dan Snyder owned the team, and he couldn't even get on the field because he didn't have like the pass. like the press pass, and they wouldn't let him down there. And it's like, what? What do you mean?
And that typifies that pretty much talks about how like the people that work for Dan Snyder don't watch football. Don't watch football.
Yeah.
Because normally, if you and I were there, we'd just be like, "Hello, Mr. Man, come on in.
Come on through. You want a beer?" I mean, what is that?
Man,
That was like, dude, that was like the story when Brian James tried to kick out Dave Matthews from backstage. We'll tell that story later, not now.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, let's talk about this, dude. Chase Young. Go.
Who's that?
Chase Clowney II.
Chase Young the second. Chase Young Clowney the second.
All
All right, so he's going to be out for like what, 3 weeks? He gets to come back in.
3 weeks? Well, they didn't put him on IR where he would have been out 4 weeks, so that means they expect him to be back before week 4.
Before that, yeah.
But before the game, wasn't he saying that he felt fine like the last few days? So maybe it was the doctors that really kept him out. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah, we need to, but boy, is it easy just to pile on him. Because, I mean, it's his contract year, in a way. He does have the 5th-year option, but we declined it, so it's going to be a contract year.
Oh, it's a contract year.
And after the first game, right now, it's when you say who's going to get the contract extension, Montez Sweat 1.
100%.
0.
Montez Sweat 2, maybe. He almost single-handedly saved the game for us. Well, him and John Allen and Payne. But still. Payne was, oh my gosh, he was a beast in there too. He had at least 2 tackles for loss. Like where he just blew through dudes.
Yeah.
He's a beast. That guy earned his money. Sweat's earning his contract extension. Chase Young? I mean, you got to play, dude.
He really is like the next Javion Clowney. Like he'll have bursts of goodness. But by the way, James Conner, the main running back for the Cardinals, 14 carries, 62 yards. He had a long carry. His longest carry was 12 yards. And then Hollywood Brown had that big carry of 29 yards and whatnot. Yeah, other than that they didn't really like Zach Ertz had a few yards, but like Rondale Moore had 31 yards. He had the most receiving yards of anyone on the team. Yeah, but his long was 31, and he caught 2 more passes for a total of 2 more yards. 2 yards. But I mean, like you're saying, the defense really, really stepped it up. It's against the Cardinals. They may be defeated this year, although I don't know after watching this game. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, should we go into our games and kicks, or is there other things that you want to discuss first? Anything else that we went through? I'm looking at your itinerary that you texted me. Yeah. I think we covered it. What about everyone out there in the peanut galleries? Anything that we need to talk about? Any let's talk about the crowd. The crowd was outstanding. Oh, yeah. I don't know the last time I've heard it that loud on TV. Yeah, actually, it was almost too loud when the offense was out. Yeah. It was almost that loud. Yep. Tressway saving the PAT. Oh, yeah, Cheeseman had a bad snap or two. Tressway, the all-pro that he is, saved that. And he had one punt, dude, that looked like, oh, my gosh, it was up there forever. You see when he was releasing the balls on though too, he like lets it go and he has it curve a little bit, so he kicks it like not like flush like you normally would. Like he kicks it so it's a little. I think it helps the angle to go more straight up and straight down from where it is, and I think they were trying to do that whole technique with where the punters are trying to get the ball to like land at the 5 and then bounce back and get down at like the 8 or the 10. You know,
He's just good.
he's a Pro Bowler, man.
He's a first ballot Redskins Ring of Famer.
Dude, all you had to do was look at that one snap from Cheeseman because it literally skipped on the ground. It was like if you saw a baseball pitcher throw the ball and it like hit the ground before it even got to the plate.
Yeah. Most holders would have just freaked out and like dove on it or tried to get up and run like 1 yard. And you know what I mean? He was just like, bloop.
The thing is, those guys, you know, the special teams all work together. Those 3 dudes, especially. So he's probably he's probably handled like much worse ones in practice. And he's just like, this one was cool.
Yeah. And remember in preseason, they said that Cheeseman was working on some kind of new snapping technique. And we were like, well, it's time to go back to your old snapping technique because this one is not working well.
Yeah.
So I'm a little concerned about that, dude. But, you know, trust way. That being said, anything else before we go into the games and kicks?
Man, I think we have a lot more, but I feel like we've been through a lot of it.
All right. Well, then we're going in. 2. Let's see if it works this week.
Yeah.
It's time for this week's Kicking the Balls Award.
It almost worked. This week's Kicking the Balls Award is brought to you, as always, by our friends over at Ridapoo. For all the do that you do, there's Ridapoo.
For all the doo-doo that you do.
There's Ridapoo. Did I say that right? Yeah.
Yep.
I think I did. Okay. Would you like to go first?
Yes. Antonio Gibson. Cut! Oh, my. Oh, my. Man, it's going to be really easy to get sent down the pecking order. I know he went back in and he had some plays there after he got benched for a while. They got him back in there.
But yeah, you can't. That was a 10-point swing because of him.
It seems like every time he fumbles and loses the fumble, it's always like in the red zone too.
Yeah,
it's always somewhere really good.
You mean really bad?
Really bad.
Well, it would have been really good. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I was thinking you think it's